This is the best investment I've ever made. In just 6 years, it's up more than 28 times. Needless to say, it changed my life. In this video, I'm going to give you the framework for you to do it yourself, and I'll share other examples of making multiples on your initial investment. Firstly, this is not financial advice. It's guidance, and you'll need to do some research yourself. We live in an increasingly crazy and chaotic world. The common advice of work hard, save, and buy groups of large stocks like the S&P 500 still makes it hard to build wealth. Worse, the usual alternatives aren't much safer. Like buying dividend-paying stocks sounds smart. In the age of disruption, if just one of your stocks get disrupted, it can leave your entire portfolio in the red for years. And trying to get rich off compound interest is another trap, because after inflation and taxes, you're not left with much. This is where I was, and the desire for financial freedom forced me to find another way. 1. Make the chaos work for you. It is no secret that the world has become a lot more fast-moving. Just this year, Trump becomes US president and the market rallies to new all-time highs. He issues over 100 executive orders and tanks the markets after announcing reciprocal tariffs. The crash is so vicious, he ends up walking back most of it, and markets rally to new all-time highs within months. But while these storms are happening more frequently, it has always happened regularly, like the tech crash of 2022, COVID in 2020, Brexit, global financial crisis of 2008, and now AI. Is it a bubble, and will it cause more crashes and storms? What markets do on the back of these events wipes out fortunes and creates new millionaires at the same time. This is the trend I noticed, and taking advantage of it is how I realized the opportunity exists for you to create enormous amounts of wealth when you ride the waves of volatility. But what do you buy? And when do you buy? Because chaos and market volatility often drive many out of business. And of course, crashing 80% is the first thing a stock does before a company goes out of business. This leads me to the next lesson that will give you the confidence that you're buying the right thing. 2. Follow where value gets created and you'll always win big. Most people think of trading and investing as buying a stock or currency, leveraging your position 10x to 100x, watch the market move a few percent in your favor, and then cash in your millions. And while this is theoretically possible, it's a road to ruin. I've tried it myself. Because by trying to take advantage of market gyrations like this, you're really treating markets like a giant casino. It's definitely possible to win big, and maybe I'll make a video on this in the future. Let me know. But nearly everyone loses. Worse, it comes with enormous amounts of stress that defeats the purpose of building financial freedom and peace of mind. In the end, I realized just how simple it is. You build layers of safety by sticking to where value gets created. Take Tesla. Their mission is to transition the world to renewable energy. This was something the whole world needed and couldn't do without. And while most said it couldn't be done for decades, they were creating the technologies and products that would do it. A decade ago, most said the small company would fail because they had nothing compared to the resources of VW or Toyota or other industry giants. But they were developing the cars, the motors, the magnets that go in them, and the mass manufacturing methods that would build it in millions. So while most people stuck to the narrative of how no one had built a car company that went from nothing to 500,000 cars in a few years for over a century, I saw it differently. I bought Tesla in June 2019 at $15.80 because they were creating the products everyone needed and would change the world. The value being created was undeniable and unique. June 2019 was also the peak of market volatility and uncertainty working against them. The narrative was they needed to raise money to survive the year. Elon had made too many enemies on Wall Street. They were building cars in tens, and the competition was coming. But today Tesla is at $450. That's a cool 28.48 times return. And they're in a similar situation again. If they get FSD and Optimus right, the stock will 10x again. But the risks are high. Because if they don't, the competition from China is here in almost every area of their business. Also, Elon has become so enmeshed with political causes, you could argue that Tesla, for an American company, faces unprecedented political risk. But they're constantly getting closer to perfecting FSD and Optimus. So I'm still in it, as I think the 10x reward is worth the risk. Another example is Palantir. In the tech crash of 2022, their stock gets punished and collapses more than 80% from the highs a few years earlier. But they are unique in how they create custom AI platforms for businesses. There is no one else like them. Today it's at $185 for a more than 20x opportunity. I was fortunate to buy it at $926 and sold it at $123.95 a few months ago for a 13.4 times return in 3 years. Take Bitcoin. The tech crash of 2022 took it below $16,000. Over time, I've become more and more convinced of the indispensable role Bitcoin will play in society through 1. A store of value, especially for people excluded from the global financial system, living in countries with high inflation or unstable currencies. Repatriating funds. Many young people from developing countries seek opportunities abroad and send money home to their families. Bitcoin serves as an excellent base for this when the global financial system makes it expensive and sometimes impossible. Similarly, it allows a software developer, say in Afghanistan or Nigeria, to sell their services in Canada without the high cost of the global financial system. Like it or not, the US controls the world's financial system through the US dollar, and sanctions is a powerful weapon. Large parts of the world are now actively working on alternatives, and Bitcoin has an obvious part to play here. Tourism. If you've ever traveled the world, you'll know that you can pay away more than 5% of your money in credit card and exchange rate fees. It's just a matter of time before cryptocurrencies reduce these fees by over 90%. Again, Bitcoin has an obvious role here. Anyway, today Bitcoin is at 110,000 as new money flows into it, such as some companies moving part of their funds into it. They're calling themselves Bitcoin treasury companies. Another source of new money flowing into Bitcoin comes from listed entities on major exchanges. They're called exchange-traded funds or ETFs. They invest solely in Bitcoin, and now more people can buy them. Anyway, I bought it at 19,000 in the middle of the chaos of 2022. Over time, its clear value creation has sustained it into making new highs. I bought SoFi and Block in the tech crash of 2022 for similar reasons, and did the same in the COVID crash in 2020. But this video is already getting a bit long, so I won't delve into it now. Leave a comment if you would like me to, and I may do another video. The principle remains the same. In today's fast-paced world, market crashes, disruption, and geopolitics constantly unsettles everyone. You can 10x your investments by buying companies that create undeniable and unique long-term value when short-term market chaos unexpectedly cause them to collapse. And these storms can strike out of nowhere. Often they appear and die down before people even realize what's happened. Other times they last much longer. But instead of trying to predict the storms, I made sure I had savings to buy into amazing companies when the storm struck. It was a much safer play with much greater upside in being able to 10x my savings. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment or question. In this uncertain world we live in, may you find the financial freedom to live the life you want to live. Good luck.